You're listening to TG1F, an F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole.
We're your hosts. I'm Kate.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is our show, where we talk about all things Formula One.
And a lot of things that are not Formula One, too.
Because why the heck not?
This is your formal invitation to a weekly hangout with your F1 BFFs, where we'll talk on-track action, off-track gossip, and throw in some hot pop culture topics.
It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned F1 fan, a curious newbie, or literally just think the driver...
We might be in the clear. Who's to say?
Technically, they have one more minute. It's only 6:04. So if they're done ahead of schedule.
No, here they go.
No, there they are. I knew it. I knew it was done.
Is your shirt from Newly?
No, my shirt is from Amazon.
It's really cute.
Thanks, I love it.
I like it a lot. You're going to have to add the like to know link so I can...
LTA. Yeah, it's actually, I'm very impressed by it. The only thing is that so it's obviously I don't know, crocheted.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't knit, so I think it would be crocheted. But so there's gaps in between all of these. So you do very much need to wear something underneath it.
Not work appropriate.
I will say I was in Nashville and I wore it out to dinner one night and I was getting ready and I was like, oh, I feel like I could probably get away with it without a bra on, because these usually were right over my nipple. And so I'm getting ready, I'm putting on my makeup, and I just looked at myself in the mirror.
Was one of your nipples literally sticking up?
Literally right through it was just literally the little bud. And I was like, the rosy peak of my nipples, as they say.
The sunset blush of your peaked nipple.
I was like, oh, well, can't do that. So I was like, luckily I had a bodysuit, because Nick and I shared a suitcase for Nashville because we weren't there for that long. Yeah. And we were flying a budget airline. So we were sharing a suitcase. So I had no clothes. I literally had 3 outfits for the time that I was there. And luckily I had just thrown a bodysuit in, just in case for one of the days. And I was like, well, I have to put that on now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The romance novel boys would have gone crazy.
Nick would
have let me leave the house. It would have been craziness,
Beating them off with sticks.
Anyways. But yeah, it's really well made, actually. I'm very impressed by it. I say as there's a long string.
It's okay. It looks really cute. I can't tell from here. So.
Yeah. No, I love it. It's really,
well,
really
speaking
cozy.
Of, everything's 50% off at Old Navy right now.
No, it's not.
Yes,
don't tell me that.
And I was like, I am
Don't
cruising.
Tell me.
I'm cruising.
And is it nice? Because I feel like they just probably switched seasons.
There's a lot of cute sweaters and stuff.
I got a really cute sweater from Amazon again the other week, and I've worn it every day since. I love it. It's so soft. Amazon has really just stepped their game up. I understand now why so many influencers are strictly Amazon influencers. I get it.
You have to find the good stuff. You have to spend time vetting.
You have to put dedicated time and effort into it for sure. But I also just so many influencers will post their storefronts, and I just shop from there. And then once you do that, once you've gotten a bunch of stuff, it'll start showing you based on your
algorithm
recent, and it's so good. Ooh, okay, there are good sweaters on here
for Amazon prices. So
no, and it's snag 50% off while you can. I'm yeah, until you do this again on Sunday.
No, but I put it in order a couple days ago, and I've been waiting. I was like, well, I'm gonna only get the stuff that's on sale, and then I'm gonna wait for them to do a good sale, which I've been waiting for this. So
I've been waiting for this.
Well, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, this is some good stuff. This is definitely some good stuff. I'll give you that. I will give you that. Speaking of shopping for clothes, I think it's just about that time, Nicole, to place our annual cider order for Vegas.
Cider's been having some good stuff lately.
They have. I know. It's like they know me, and I think they know when I usually order
Are you
because,
asking that because I'm CFO and you're trying to get a stipend for Vegas clothes? Is this what the ask was for?
well, if the shoe fits. It actually wasn't, but like if the shoe fits, yeah. But also I was just trying to veer our conversation towards Vegas.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, but
Well, now do I have a stipend? Do I have an
I guess
allowance?
I don't know. I have to look. I have to see our finance. I have to check our finances.
I just feel like Cider always knows when I'm like when
You're ready. You're
an
prime.
F1 trip is coming up, which is the only time I ever really order from Cider is like when we're going on a trip. And because I just like have started to get like Instagram ads
They've
from
been
them, like
hitting me hard with the Instagram ads, which is why I'm like,
hard. And I'm like, it's so cute. Everything is so cute. I gotta figure out my Vegas vibe for the
I
year.
know. We got a mood board again.
We really do. Because like last year, I feel like the thing is, for me at least, is like I usually pick like one item of clothing that's like a cool standout that either I'll wear it every day or like, but then I
Hmm.
build my aesthetic for the weekend around that.
Yeah,
And last year was
the
obviously
jacket.
my cool leather
Yeah.
jacket. I miss that jacket.
I
I wish I could
know.
wear it again, but like that was Vegas 2023, but like what will Vegas 2024 be? Like last year I feel like we were very like city slicker,
Mhm.
cool, like leathers and
Monochrome.
yeah. Like
Mhm.
what are we this year, do you think?
I don't know.
Should we brainstorm right now?
I don't know. Well, it's hard because I never really know what my vibe is going to be until I see it.
I
Like,
know.
I need to see
No.
that item of clothing to be like, that's what I want my vibe to be this year.
I know. I've been checking my Newly to be like, what do I have saved that I really like?
Mhm.
So because I'm also like loving I'm loving all of the like vest outfits that people are wearing lately. Like I'm like, do we go kind of more like businesswoman, cool businesswoman this year?
Business
We're in
casuals in
like
Vegas this year. You heard it here first.
like we're going like do we go like power suits? I
It's giving Romy and Michelle, like when they show up to and
Or do we go very, like, Sabrina Carpenter
those are
vibe?
those are opposite ends of the spectrum,
They're
babe.
very
That's why
opposite
this
ends of
is
the
real.
spectrum, so I don't really know
This is hard.
what we should do.
I don't
Okay, I'm
know,
gonna
but you know what? We'll figure it out because we're newly minted Nepo babies.
we really honestly, we should be getting gifted clothes. Like, we should be having brands line up to dress us because
Knock, knock, knocking on the door.
we're nepo babies. Our dads are diplomats. Like, what use are our dads right now if they're not
Like,
helping us?
you know what? They haven't been helping us at all any of this time. And now we've recently
No.
learned that they're diplomats.
I
And
mean, how did we not know that?
well,
How did we not know?
I'm like, maybe they're like Russian spies and someone has cracked the code and now our lives are going to be turned upside down and we're going to
Yeah.
have to figure out this new way of life without our families here in the US because they're going to get shipped back to Russia. Are we going to get shipped back to Russia? Or are we kind of free now because we're over at the age of 18 or I don't
Right, like, we don't
know.
have to go back for military service,
Now
right?
this is like a
My
whole
Anastasia, like, I feel like I have to get
I'm
tested.
having a personality crisis. Like, who am I? I thought I was Nicole Marie Severs of Chicago,
When
Illinois.
will my reflection show who I am inside of me?
I know that's right.
I've always been asking it. Fun fact, Anastasia has always been one of my top 5 favorite movies. You know this.
I did know
So
that.
this actually feels really fitting for me that maybe my subconscious was like knock knock knocking at the door trying to tell me that's you.
Logan cracked the
That's
code.
you.
He cracked the code. He figured us out. We're breaking our silence today, guys.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry that we've been lying to you the past 4 years of this podcast. We've been lying to you
We've been lying to
about
ourselves, to
yeah,
be honest.
that's the bigger issue here at hand.
We've
Well,
been lying
not
to
even we've been
ourselves.
lying to ourselves. We've been lied to, you know?
We've been lying. Were you silent or were you silenced?
Exactly.
Were you lying or were you lied to? And I think we were lied to.
I think we were lied to. I think that we had this idea of who we were and, what our lives were like, and now that's kind of imploded, and I truly don't know where we go from here.
Only up,
Only
baby.
up, I think.
We have resources. We
This
have
opens up
access.
doors for us.
I mean, we have to start using our Nepo baby clout. Like, we have to start using our connections. If we're going to be Nepo babies, you better believe we're milking it for all it's worth.
Yeah. Watch out, Lance Stroll. 2
Watch out.
girls are coming for your job.
Meanwhile, begging for people to give us anything.
Guys, it's just so funny to have had this experience in the past week, because if you are someone who has been listening to the podcast since the very beginning, God bless you. You know that the fact that someone would ever call us industry plants or Nepo babies is kind of insane, because we are constantly begging people for attention and money on this
Begging.
podcast.
No, and if you did somehow miss this whole ordeal, which I don't really know how you could have, because we made it
Our whole
our
personalities.
whole entire personalities for a couple days. We made 2 different grid posts. Like, we're on it. But we last week.
Some people might not be on Instagram and only might be podcast fans, they might
You're so
they
right.
might have
Yeah.
missed
So
it.
if you miss this, I will fill you in. Don't worry.
TLDR.
I'm not going to gatekeep this funny piece of TG1F lore. So we did a webcast, I don't know, live with our friends over at the Season app on Friday. And so they posted a TikTok
Promoting it.
saying that TG1F was going to be with them. And this man named Logan Sipo commented and said, TG1F are just industry plants with Nepo money. First of all, I wish. So we commented back and we're like, sir, I'm sorry, what? And then he said, listen, and it's kind of humbling. He kind of
He
roasted
kind
us.
of got our asses, but still.
But I do also want to point out that he was on TikTok, and what he's discussing here are our TikTok
Views.
successes,
Yeah.
all right, or lack thereof. And he says, listen, if TG1F content delivered and got the views and was worthy content, I wouldn't be crapping on them. But a diplomat's daughter, the access they have, and they barely crack 500 views. And it's just, who do you know? What do you know? Who is the diplomat in this scenario? Is it my dad? Is it my mom? Is it Nicole's dad? Is it Nicole's mom? Who is it? I mean, there is a diplomat named Mark Sievers, which is your dad's name. So,
Yeah.
but also, how do they know our names?
Like, how did this kind of
who, what, where, when, why, and how?
Because, like, did you Google Kate Lazat dad, Kate Byrne dad, Nicole Sievers dad? Like, how did we get to where we are? You know what I mean? Like, I just really want to know what the SEO was around this Google search, because where are you getting this info?
Like, it's so funny to me, because also it's like the like the big like reasoning behind this comment is because we have low views on TikTok. But apparently we have a lot of access. So either they don't really know what's going on, or we do a really good job making it seem as though we have access to anything ever.
It just pisses me off though too, because like our TikToks don't do that bad. Like, I swear, you look at anyone, unless you're like fucking Alex Earl, like you go to anyone's page and they're posting once in a couple of videos, one will take off and it'll have a good amount of views. But you look at anyone else's videos and they're like 600, 700 views. Like, that's standard, my guy.
It's just like, I'm just, what access do you think we have I mean, thanks, because you clearly think that we deserve to be getting more views than we do if you're, like, concerned about the fact that we don't get that many, so, like, honestly, I think you might be our biggest fan.
I didn't know we had a new way to be hated on, and now I do, and I just yearn for everyone to think that we're nepo babies and to be like, it's that trend. It's that trend where it's like first they think you're cringe, next they
Yeah,
like think you're stupid, then they ask you how you did it, and then they say that you're lucky. Like that's
yeah,
where we're at. People are like, "Oh, the only reason you're getting what you're getting is because you're a nepo baby, not because we went through hell for the past 4 years."
yeah, and let me tell you, we're still not quite living the dream, like
By any means.
like,
This
I
is
don't think that this is, like,
this is
we're not li
pure for the love of the game. The love of
this
the
is
game, that's it. You think we would still
that's
be out
it.
here 150 episodes later if we were hoping to gain access from this?
Like,
Y'all
guys,
y'all
life is
y'all
a
got me
bit,
fucked
and we
up.
are here to commit, and that's it.
Like, what do you know about committing to a bit, Logan? What do you know?
What do you know, Logan? Yeah, it's so funny. But anyways, yeah, so we are Nepo babies and we will be using that access this year in Vegas. So
For good and for evil.
so just wait to see what we get into.
Okay, before you know what? Here's what I'll say. They've F1 has heard us kind of chatting shit about how it's been fucking boring lately. And a lot of things have happened in the past week that I would love to talk about.
I would
But
love to.
before we get into it, we need to have a moment of silence.
Oh, fuck.
We need to grieve publicly on the podcast and
I don't want to again.
think about how powerful our words are. As you guys know, you know what we're talking about. Unfortunately, Kate and I lost one of our original lover boys. Okay. And let's just say has not been a good week for us. Okay. Liam Payne, may he rest in eternal peace forever and ever and ever. And the week before, we were kind of calling him out on his bullshit and hoping that he was going to have a redemption arc. And now we don't get to see that. And I have been crying a lot lately.
I have cried at least 3 times every single day since this happened. And I'm still really sad about
I
it.
like
Like I
I don't know. There's no real precedent for me
no, me
in
neither.
terms of like this level of loss. And like obviously I've lost family members and people who are close to me. Like I'm not equating it to that, but like you and I wouldn't be here without
No.
One Direction or without Liam Payne specifically. We probably would
Like
not be the friends that we were without Liam as kind of our anchor.
like our literal first interaction in a public forum was exchanging Liam Payne photos back and forth on Twitter.
And so it's just like it's really devastating to know that I have to grow old and continue my life while he does not, and I don't get to see him
Come back
be at the
around.
same stages of life that I am, and not in a selfish way, but like One Direction's truly over now. Like, you know, like
I mean,
there's
yeah.
we always say we would sell our soul for a One Direction reunion tour. We would fucking beat the shit out of some younger kids to get tickets for a One Direction tour, and it's like we don't ever have to face those evils because it's never actually going to happen.
It just is like so upsetting, and there's just so many things that have happened like around it that have just really hit so hard. Like I like the I have to compose myself.
I'm like, no, like I've been walking down the street just like I've been listening to One Direction nonstop
Same.
since last week. Like
Same.
I haven't listened to a single thing else.
Nothing else.
And I'll just like be thinking, a song will be playing and I'll just like I'll just be looking at the leaves on the ground and I'm just like tearing up.
Like the first thing that really got me was the One Direction post where they had Zayn's name back in it, and I was just like, it has been so long since like since like his name was like
it was
equated with
Liam,
like
Harry,
included
Louis,
with all of them.
Niall, and then now they had to post again, but this time Zayn, Louis, Niall, Harry.
And it's just like, yeah, and then to just see them all posting and like Louis, we knew it was going to be Louis first. Like we knew it was going to be Louis first, and like his post was so heart-wrenching, and like the fact that Louis Tomlinson had to go through another round of heart-wrenching grief is just like,
What kind of fucked up karmic debt is Louis Tomlinson paying off in this lifetime?
like
Like,
it's
give that
so,
man a break. You know what it is? Louis is a Capricorn. And Pluto in
we
retrograde for
do know
Capricorn has been, Pluto in Capricorn has been fucking hell. So,
for the past 15 years, and
Louis,
that
it's
tracks
about
for
to be
him.
good for you, babes. It's about to be good for you.
I just am like, it made like his post was so heart-wrenching and like just beautiful, and like him saying that he's gonna be an uncle to Bear and like all this stuff. Oh my god. And then you got Zayn coming in second, like the
When he's like,
unexpectedness, like,
I lost
and
my
then
brother. Like, and he's like, I've
and
always
the
wanted brothers, and I got 4 of them when I joined One Direction, and now I've lost a brother, and I'm just like, I'm
and
devastated.
and and then he postponed his North American tour because of it. Like, oh my
After it was such a big
god.
deal that he was going on tour again because he was finally, like, in a mental state enough to do so, and then wham, psych.
It was, and then like, I mean,
For
Harry and
me,
Niles.
the one that got me the most was his sister.
Oh my god, I can't
And
talk about that one.
she ended it with, "I'm so sorry I couldn't save you." Like, I literally, like, the biggest gut punch.
And you wanna know who
Ugh,
surprisingly really got me?
Simon.
Simon Cowell. Tell me why I was more moved by Simon Cowell's Instagram post about Liam Payne than I was Harry or Niall.
It's the devil works hard, but Simon Cowell works harder.
Oh my god, and then
No, and then the worst, you know what Liam's last post on his Instagram is?
One Direction.
It's "Rest in peace, Morgan Spurlock," and it's One Direction. That's his last post on Instagram. Is all of them together. So, in case you were wondering how much he loved that band.
Like,
If you
and
were
here's the
wondering.
thing is like, when the last time we were recording this episode and we were talking about Liam, and it
Mhm.
was he had just seen Niall in Argentina
Mhm.
at his show, and everyone was shitting on Liam for like making it about himself and like singing along to all the One Direction songs, and I'm like,
We were like, "You
why
why? You
why are
guys
you
were
so
all
upset?
looking at him."
Right, like, what you were gonna be so mad at him if he didn't do that, but, like, and the fact that he had posted and was like, "Oh, I'm going to see Niall's show, like, it's been a while since we talked, like, I'm hoping that we can, like, talk and put some things to rest, and, like, I'm just excited to see him," and they did, and that's, like, and he got to do that, and, like, and then Eleanor posted about how, like, much of a support system he was for her the past couple of years since she and Louis broke up, and I'm just like,
It's every day, every
and
day.
Danielle Peaser,
I'm just getting
and that
hit.
the last message that he sent her was that he was so happy for the love that she'd found in her husband and son. I'm just like, I truly, I don't know how to like deal with this. And you and I were talking about this because I feel so dramatic because I'm like, this is a man I have never met. I do not know personally. He's just like a celebrity. Like, why is this like I feel so dramatic that I'm like so upset about it. But like truly, this is like a grief that I have never known.
I
Because it's like, and I've seen a couple articles about it, but it's like, how are you supposed to process like this
How do you
grief?
navigate grief in a parasocial relationship?
Right.
Like, we need a therapist talking about this stat. Like, we need someone talking about this stat. Who's doing the research on this? Like, and it's so funny because it comes and goes. Like, there will be moments, like, it feels like a grief that I've been dealing with for a very long time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, sometimes when you've been grieving someone and obviously you've moved on with your life, and you just get these moments of sadness where you're like
Yeah.
thinking about them, like that's how I've been feeling. Where
Yes.
I'm just like, we're never going to see another video of Liam Payne. Like, we're never gonna have the opportunity to send a video of him and be like, why is he still so cringe? Like, can he settle down? Like, I'm sad. I'm sad that there's never gonna be another opportunity for us to like be like, Liam, why are you still putting out shitty music? Like, again, who's on your team? Please. Like, there's no opportunity for him to get better. He's eternally, the last things anyone ever said about him were all hateful. And that
And
makes
like
me fucking sad.
and like the last things that people are remembering are saying like the industry failed you and like I wish that you could have gotten better. Like that is just so deeply sad, and it really is just like such like a stark example of like what's the point? Or like, you know what I mean? Like what is the point of social media and like being the way that people are, and like you don't know these people, you don't know anyone, like you don't know anyone, and like what like and like your words mean things, and you it's just I mean I can't help but think in this situation like I pray that Maya Henry has a good therapist
Yeah.
and like a solid support system. And I'm sure that she does because she was, feeling confident enough to be, speaking out on, what was a very real and traumatic situation for her. And so I'm glad that she had the support to be able to feel confident enough to do that, but I hope that those people are still there because I actually cannot imagine what this scenario is playing out like for her.
And it's not her
Like,
fault. And I think that she has
no,
every right to voice her story. And, we
absolutely.
have talked about how we don't think Liam's sins have been absolutely resolved because he's
Yeah.
now deceased, right? Like, I think everyone loves difficult people, and like it's very hard to navigate. And like, again, like we said, we wanted him to be held accountable, but we wanted him to come back from that. We wanted him to be able to seek forgiveness and growth and become a better person. And I was literally thinking about this the other day where I'm like, even my ex-boyfriend who kind of traumatized me to the nth degree, I'm still going to be sad about that when he dies. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yes.
like you,
Yes.
it's just
Because no matter what, there's always like people are not one dimensional, and we're not like the person.
like, I'm sure Maya Henry is devastated. As
Yes.
much as damage he probably did to her, she was like, don't think. As much as she probably said, I wish he would fucking die, like, she didn't actually mean it. You know what I
And
mean?
it's because a lot of, for most people, like how you know them in one moment is not how, like, because people change. Like, you're not always the exact same person all the time. So, like, even with your ex, like, as much as he traumatized you, stuff, you do still have some memories, like, that are fond memories.
Yeah.
And anyone like for Liam, I'm like, I have fond memories of like when he was younger, and like that's the version of him that I choose to remember and mourn and all of that. And I think it's so hard to kind of distinguish because obviously you do want to hold people accountable, and it's hard because it's not black and white. Like you're not, and I don't think that people are intrinsically like good or bad,
Mhm.
and like I think that that's such a cop out. I do think that there are people in this world that are pure evil. Like there
Yeah.
are people that are evil, but for the majority, the like strong majority of people, like no one is purely just like a good person or just a bad person. So it's hard, like you have to be able to like think about that in like a multitude of ways.
Yeah.
Was Liam a great person all the time? No.
Did
But
he have
clearly,
a
like,
huge
did he?
impact on a lot of people's lives in a very positive way?
Yes.
100%.
Like, was Liam a good person? Up for debate. Was he a bad person? Also up for debate. Like, so subjective, and there's different parts of different of people that like come out in different scenarios, and I think it's like just really hard. That's why grief is so hard to navigate for a lot of
Mhm.
people, because also the fact that like death is like the great equalizer,
Yeah.
and it's so easy when something like that happens to be like, okay, like I think a lot of people do like absolve people of their sins like
Yeah.
once they're dead, because you've kind of paid the ultimate price. But it's just like, so it's such a, man, death. Like I don't know where to go from here.
To
Like
think
what a
about the
what a
final
way.
time they will all likely be in the same room together is at Liam's funeral
Yeah.
is something that will ruin me all over again when it happens.
And you know that I feel as though
His dad going to the hotel, Paul being there, like, I truly was like,
all of the
"I."
fans like putting their arms up so that the paparazzi couldn't get photos of his dad at the memorial.
This is like our Princess Diana, you know what I mean? Like, people
Yes.
are like, "I know where I was when Princess Diana
Yes.
died." Like, this is how it is.
Mhm.
This is truly the only thing I can equate it to, but I think it's in on an even larger scale.
It's like, but
Stan
I also
Stan
think that I could
Culture
probably see them at some point potentially doing like a Liam Payne tribute concert where with them and like raising money for like
addiction.
addiction and mental health resources and stuff. Like I could see
I need
that.
them to re-record Walking in the Wind with Zayn doing Liam's parts. That's what I need.
Don't say that.
That's what I need, and I need them to re-release it, and
For Hey Angel.
I need it to be like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's okay. The last heartbreaking thing I'm gonna say about this, and then we actually do need to move on because like I actually like can't keep doing this, is I saw I saw a tweet. It said Louis is gonna take care of Liam's family, and Liam is gonna take care of Louis. It's like no.
That is absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, I'm just like, I'll be thinking about his death like literally forever. Like, there's never gonna be a moment where I'm not gonna be like, and the way he went out, being like, no, I can't. Okay, enough of this. Enough of this. Enough of this. Let's talk about
Enough.
Formula One. Let's talk about. I need to talk about something fun. I need to talk about something light.
Yeah, we said before we get into all the things that happened in F1 this week, we need to take a moment of silence. 35 minutes later.
All right. Well, guess what?
Anyways,
F1's back, baby. Austin Grand Prix was a
was
fucking
so
lit
good.
race.
It
I'm
was so good.
not mad we weren't there because obviously you don't really get to watch the race when you're
No,
at
I was on it.
there.
I looked at Nick and I said, I'm so glad we're home for this
Yeah,
and we can watch this from our living room and like see, like hear the radios and like see everything because it was so good. First of all, Charles, my man. That's the only reason I'm sad we weren't there because I still have never seen him win it live.
that's
But
crazy.
I know it's really sad. But like, I'm so proud of him. That first lap, like the first turn, I was like
That was
shocked.
that was legitness, as they say.
That was legitness. It was so good. I like, it was unbelievable. It was like Ferrari said, watch us. You're going to talk your shit. Watch us cook. And they cooked this weekend. Like they had pretty much a flawless race. It
Mhm.
was, the
For one.
strategy was amazing. The communication between the drivers and their engineers was amazing. The driving was incredible. Like they did such a good job. And I am like so proud to be a Ferrari fan because like I like
We're
this
so
is what
back,
I'm hopeful
baby.
for. This is what I'm hopeful for. And I mean, Charles just won Monza too. Like I feel like they're on, like we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're kind of getting back there, and I'm so excited. I'm excited to see Lewis in the car next year. Like I think he's going to be happy. I think there's just like so many good things going on and
Well, it
I'm
feels like
psyched.
it's truly exciting going into the what we have 6 races left in the season that like it's anybody's game for who's gonna win those races,
Yeah.
like it's
And, like, the constructors is currently being held by McLaren, but, like, Ferrari's not far behind,
Mhm,
like, so and all the commentators this weekend were like, "Ferrari could very well win
mhm.
the constructors this year," and so, like, that is exciting, and, like, Lando's getting closer to Max in the driver standings, like, it's, like, so much more fun than it has been, and I will say, trigger warning for everyone,
Oh, no.
the new guys did really good this
I know,
weekend,
I
and it
literally was
was
like
really, really fun to see them in there, like, kind of, like, crushing it, like, Liam did so good, and,
I was like,
like,
it's crazy that they both Liam and Franco outscored Alex and Yuki,
yeah,
and I was like,
in the
"Alright,
points, like,
I guess
got
those
points, like, it
bitches
was
know what
just
they're doing."
yeah, I was like, "This feels fun." It feels like a really good incoming class of, rookies for next year. Like, I'm really excited, and I'm so sorry for Danny that he was unceremoniously fired midseason, but I think it ultimately was the right move for V-Carb, and I
Mhm.
think here's the thing, is that Danny was kind of becoming just, like, this dark cloud over races where, like, I was always just like, "This is a great race," but Danny's still in 13th. Like, I was always being like, "But where is Danny?" And, like,
Yeah.
being disappointed about it, and I feel like kind of not having that this week, I was like, I feel lighter. Like, I feel like the responsibility to be upset is gone. Um, so
Okay,
I don't know, it was weird.
I will say
How did you feel for your first post
I wasn't I
AD
as someone
after
who
Danny?
AD for sure. I will say I, 1, am glad that he didn't show up and do personality
Yes.
appearances, okay?
He didn't even go to, like, he was not in Austin at
He
all, he
said,
didn't go to Austin, he
"Don't
didn't go to the
call,
Enchante
don't
thing.
text." I will say it was really cute how they had, I think it was either at Enchante or at the track. I think it was at the track. They had the little, like, postcards that you could write Danny, which that was really
Mm,
cute, although it
I
did
didn't see
feel
that.
like he also died.
Yeah.
Like, "Be careful, Danny, I'm worried." I'm worried. But, yeah, I also felt lighter not having to be like, "Well, likely place for Danny to be." Like, I just got to
Yeah.
watch the race, and now I don't really have an emotional attachment to anyone. So now I just get to enjoy the sport as a fan
And have it,
instead
like, be
of,
fun.
like,
Yeah.
being upset, which I don't know if that's better or worse. So, like, everyone's like, "Well, what are you gonna do next year?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm a Carlos girly too," but then I'm like, "But Carlos is going to fucking Williams." Like,
That's not gonna be easy.
like, I don't think that that's gonna be that fun for me to be, like, emotionally invested in either. So I think I just, like, have to let go and let God and just, like, be an F1 fan and just enjoy it as a whole now, which is a crazy
Honestly,
which is a crazy thing to say.
it is, it is. I mean, we're always taking newcomers over in Camp Charles, so
Yeah, but you and I can't have the same, like, I don't think that you and I could have the same favorite driver. It just doesn't feel right to me.
okay, well, Lewis is gonna be there,
But I
so
also don't want us to have the same favorite team.
why?
I don't know,
We all currently have the same favorite team.
I guess you're, well, now I don't really have a choice. I will say though,
Well, but even before, you said you were a Danny fan, but you were a Ferrari fan.
that's true. That's true.
You've always said that.
I will say though, looking at the merch that Riley has designed for the holiday collection, I might be getting myself some Williams stuff because I think it's very cute and I love the color scheme.
I do
So,
love the Williams colors, they are so good.
and I'm thinking about Alex and Carlos together as like kind of a dream team. So, regardless of where they are, I may just have to suck it up and be like, we're gonna lose, but I'm gonna have a lot of fun along the way.
Which honestly might be
It's better
to not
than like
really
not getting
have
your
a lot of
hopes up.
hopes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to just not have any hopes or
I'm just like,
ambitions.
I know we're not gonna win the championship, but, like, I'm gonna cheer for them anyway.
Yeah, why not?
Meanwhile, I had to watch Danny fall from grace, and that was a tough battle. So, I'm feeling I'm feeling
Yeah.
lighter. I'm feeling like Williams is calling to me. So
I love that. I mean, you even said at the beginning of what, this year, last year?
yeah,
I think the past like 2 seasons you've like said you wanted to be a
that's
Williams girl.
that's so
So
true. So
I think this is kind of meant to be for
kind of
you.
spoken into
Yeah.
existence, I think, for myself. Once
Mm-hmm.
again, you create
Yeah.
the reality you want to live in, and I said I'm gonna be a Williams girly at some point, and Carlos said, "Bet, bitch."
Yeah. But it was great. It was a great race.
The whole Lando and Max battle at the end there was so fun to watch. I don't
So fun.
really
It was just
understand
like
McLaren's kind of point of view or strategy on anything and by not giving the Max the position back, but you know what? That's not my
they had to,
job.
you want to know what, they had to stick to their guns and say we're right, and if we give this back then we're admitting we were wrong.
Mhm.
And I respect them to just hold out for that. But it was a really fun battle between the two of them, and like hearing the commentators be like, if you're like a young driver or someone that wants to get into F1 someday and you're watching this, like this is a masterclass
Mhm.
on defensive driving, attack driving. Like it was so fun to watch, and just like
Every corner
they're
you're like,
so good.
are they gonna go for it?
Yeah.
Is he gonna get him?
And then of course Lando waits. This is the thing that pisses me off about it, is that like I'm like, bro, you waited like 5 laps, every corner kind of getting closer and closer. You waited so patiently, and then that's the one that you decided to go for it, and
Yeah.
then ended up getting a penalty and then losing like 3 places. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was a tough watch, but you know what? And I was like, I know Lando is not going to take any accountability at the end
no.
of this. Like he's going to be like, well, the stewards probably get their eyes checked.
Yeah.
Like he is also taking a master class from Max in terms of
Yes.
sassy responses.
100%. I mean, to be fair, the stewards were not very consistent, at least at first. There was a bunch of people in the first couple laps that went off track and gained an advantage and were not penalized for it. And then later on, people started getting the penalties. So I think the early laps, less is at stake. Like,
Yeah,
you gain an advantage on the first lap, like that's not going to make or break your
right.
race, really. So I kind of get it, but it wasn't super super consistent, but by the end it was. So it's like that's why it was confusing, like, guys, why are you doing that? But also Lando was like having track limit violations anyways, so I'm like, I think it was going to happen regardless. Like, I think something was going to go wrong, but it was fun. It was really fun to watch. It was great to see the Ferrari 1-2. Great to see Haas doing so well. Like, it
Mhm.
was just like a good race all around. It was amazing to see the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I was psyched.
Do you see the
And they
photo of
cut away from them too soon, though.
did you
They
see the
literally, like,
video
showed them for 2 seconds, and I was like, "Show the dance."
the photo of Charles and Carlos with the Dallas the cheerleaders and they looked
I
so
didn't see it.
uncomfortable.
Wait,
It's
I did
so
not see
funny
it.
because it's such a 180 from where the sport was 10 years ago with grid girls. Like
Yes.
that's like modern day grid girls, right? But like seeing Carlos and Charles be like do like hover hands and like not sure how to engage with this.
No, it's because, um,
I know you're
you're
not
not
supposed to touch
allowed
them.
to
I
touch
know.
them. You're
But
not allowed to
But
touch.
that's like with creepy men who take photos with them. Like this was a promotional photo shoot. You know what I mean?
True.
So
Wait, where was this photo? I
I
just wanna see
saw it
which
on
girls they were with.
Twitter. Let's see.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah.
I just wanna see who it is, because I have favorites. They're my girls. Let's see.
Oh yeah, they're not touching, but Carlos is kind of one-handing Charles. It's,
That's so Larry of them.
it's what is going on in this photo? It's cracking me up.
Okay, well, at least they have Reese in
But
the photo they
also
saved.
the smile that Carlos has, why he looks like a 3rd grade boy with that
No,
smile.
Carlos, this you said they both look so awkward. I think if Carlos wasn't there, Charles would actually look fine. Like,
I
he's
guess
just
you're
standing
right.
behind the back, like kind of looking normal. Carlos is so uncomfortable.
It's so
This man
funny.
has never taken a good photo.
That's a lie. The photos of Carlos and Charles on the private jet that they
No, you're
posted
right.
today,
But, like,
I'm
a
so sorry.
posed photo like this, Carlos has never taken a good photo.
It's so funny.
He does
What's
not
that
know.
smile? I love him to death.
It is the funniest. That is the funniest photo I've ever seen. Oh
It's
my
giving
god.
okay, going back to the photos of them on the private jet.
No, I can't.
Please, 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 please. Carlos has never looked fucking hotter with his backwards baseball hat. And the video of them playing chess, and Carlos is like, kind of like he, and then Charles makes his move and he goes, oh fuck.
No, it's
I literally watched the video 25 times because just the way that he cackles, and then
no. You know that this man does it is horrible at playing chess. You know it. Like
like it's so immediate. It's so immediate. He's like, oh fuck.
and then Charles does another thing and he's like, "Wait, what?" It's so but also Charles looks so good.
They
And I
both
just
look unreal.
I mean, this main one of like Charles fixing his sleeve, I'm like, I fear I'm back.
I
I
hear.
fear I fear I've lost one. And
Well,
that
do
just
we want to
means
talk about the fact that Liam died on Charles's birthday?
no, I really don't want to talk about that fact.
We
Actually,
one in, one out, I guess.
my heart lost a little bit and it gained some room, and Charles just took that
Grew a
over.
little
So
bit.
now he's like doubly because I also
Let's talk about.
mouth
Let's
watering.
talk about it.
Mouth mouth
Let's talk
watering
about it.
need to discuss like remember like a couple weeks ago we were like I don't know like on the podcast it's kind of hard to talk about things because like we're just
You're like, I'm not.
I don't want to talk about the driver's Instagram post anymore. Surprise,
That's what
not
I'm
today.
saying. They heard us talking shit and they said, we got to provide more content for the two girls. We got to make
Like
them feel feral again. And
the World War II fighter pilot photos.
the Top Gun of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
I am unwell.
I will consume that military propaganda. I'm
This is
glad
how
my
they get me
taxes
to
pay for
enlist,
that
that's for
military
sure.
industrial complex. Okay.
Charles wants you to join the
And you
US
know what? You
military.
know what? If they said this is what all of the men in the Air Force look like, you should join
I'd
the
be
Air
in.
Force. I'd be in it. I'd be in it.
Like call sign Percival. Never has the name Percival ever been hotter. Like it's like they are so good. And the video, do you see the video?
Yeah. Of course I
I
did.
can't.
I looked at all
The
the
video
photos 17 times.
The video is so good and the photos are so good. And for anyone that doesn't follow us on Instagram, I will be reading you my thoughts that I shared in WhatsApp. Number one, I'd put that pic in a locket and keep it with me while he was a fighter pilot in World War II for sure. Yes, absolutely. That would be staying with me. Oh, this is my husband in my locket.
I'm
Number
waiting for my
two,
husband to return from war.
I'm waiting impatiently. Number two, I would hold my thumb up to the moon and tell myself no matter where we were, the moon was no bigger than our thumbs. Dear
A
John.
Dear John reference.
And then I also said I would get married at 18 and wait for him faithfully while he was deployed.
You would let him cheat on you too. Or you'd be like, you know what? Just come home
I
to me,
wouldn't give
baby.
a fuck.
Just come home safe.
If he's looking like that, I'm unwell. I am unwell. Like,
Yeah,
this was,
that was criminal that they posted that. I was
I
like,
do think I need to save this photo desperately.
like, who's writing? Who's
His face
writing?
card
Never
is
declines.
is absolutely lethal. He has a lethal face card. That's like a master key. Like that's like a skeleton key. This face card could get you in anywhere.
Speaking of Bird, today or yesterday, we're talking about the hotness of drivers. And she goes, Charles Leclerc looks like every other man. And I said, Bird, where are you finding other men who look like this? Please point them in my direction. She said, he
Like,
just looks
what?
like every other man. I saw some guy look like him on the train the other day. I almost sent you a photo. And I said, well, you should have. And then I was talking about Carlos, and my friend Greer goes, I don't think he's that hot. And I said, you guys, what's in the air right now? What's going on? Do you guys need to be checked into the mental hospital?
Yeah,
The
that's
psych ward?
kind of insane behavior.
From both of you. Enough.
That's insane behavior. For sure.
I'm like, those are two of the hottest men who have ever walked to this earth.
Ever.
Objectively. Objectively.
Objectively. Objectively.
No qualms about it, okay? Like who's writing the romance novel?
Who's writing the fighter pilot, Top Gun, Percival? I need it.
I need it.
This is a call to action.
Guys, remember when we asked you like 2 years ago to write fanfic?
About Pierre
If you guys
in
wanted to
economy.
write fanfic again about Charles Leclerc being a fighter pilot, I'd love to read it.
Would love to read it.
Be very interested. Oh,
Oh.
it was the video of Max and Checo in a photo booth. And you know what? I can't keep seeing pictures of Checo. I can't. There's just
I know, you're really I think that like there was a switch.
I don't know what happened. I went from not caring about him at all to every photo I see of his face annoys the shit out of me. I don't know what it is. I can't quite place it. I don't like his face. It gives me I don't I, I don't trust him. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it.
It's
Not for me.
uncanny valley for you.
It is. It's just like there's something about it. It's just I get a chill. I get a chill when I think about it. Okay. Also, that video I sent of Max disassociating today.
holding a red
Oh,
holding a Red Bull can.
he's just like me for real. Like he's literally like staring at Charles, the back of Charles's head, thinking about holding a Red Bull can. Snaps back in, is like, oh shit.
Like we've all been there.
It is cracking me up. The photo.
Anytime I look at Charles, I do also
You're like
go into that dissociative state.
you're just having a That's So Raven moment.
I get
I
it.
will say it was disappointing to not get any Danny content from Austin. Like I feel like that's kind of like the most fun content that comes out of the weekend.
Mhm.
Everything else was people were trying to fill his shoes. The way that they made AI photos of all of them as cowboys, the way
Yeah.
that everyone was doing cowboy boot, cowboy hat photo shoots. Charles saying "Lights Out and Away We Go" in the American accent was
Right on,
so
away we go. I was like, "Are
okay.
you
It's
gargling
it's giving
rot?"
fast. Are you having a stroke? Face, arms, speech, time. Okay.
Honestly, he sounded like that's how I imagine Tate McRae would say "Lights out, away we go."
Tate McRae.
Yeah, she always sounds like she's like choking on a penis. Don't put that in here. She literally sounds like there's something in her mouth at all
Mm.
times, and it's just like, and he was just like, "Lights out, away we go." Like I'm like, "Are you? Do you have like? Are you eating? Like, is what's like?" It was so crazy.
It was hysterical. And it was so funny too because okay, I texted you this, but I was like, the influence we have. Because when I reshared that video, there was like 300 likes on that video. And it had been up for like 5 hours. And I like went and reposted it. And then now it has like 100,000 likes. Okay. We've kind of popped off with that because the other one that they did still only has like 1,500 likes of George.
Yeah, and that's because we're nepo babies.
We're Nepo babies and that's our influence. But it was so funny because I was like, why doesn't anyone hire us to do content like this? Because Good Morning America is also breaking literally 500 views. Like when they get access and no one calls them industry plants, like fuck off.
Okay, you heard it here first. Good Morning America is an industry plant.
I was like, they're barely putting up numbers here. And I could be doing this. I could be doing this. I wish I was a Nepo baby.
So deeply.
So let's see what kind of offensive content comes out of Mexico this week. I've already seen a photo of Esteban wearing a sombrero.
I'm ready for it.
It's been kind of a chaotic week in the Formula One space. Okay.
Yeah. Oh. What?
Sorry, I just saw this photo for the first time.
Oh. All right.
I need me one of those. I need me a Carlos Sainz, I'll be honest.
You do. You deserve that.
I need me one of those. Gonna set my location on Hinge to Spain, see what I can
You deserve
raffle.
that. You deserve that.
If anyone knows anyone in their lives who looks like Daniel Ricciardo or Carlos Sainz and is single, let me know. I'm interested in that. We got Mexico this week. I don't know if I'm going to be watching because it is the Timothée Chalamet lookalike contest in Washington Square Park.
Priorities.
And I did say that I was going to pregame that. So if any of my NYC girlies are going to be at the Timothée Chalamet lookalike event, but then maybe want to mosey on over to a bar afterwards and watch the Mexico Grand Prix, slide into the DMs. Let me know.
That honestly sounds like such a perfect day. Like, that sounds like an ideal day.
Let me know. For the girls, True Sunday, Timothée Chalamet and Formula One. So, and that's all she
Anyways,
wrote.
this was a kind of a depressing episode because I just am mentally not over Liam. So sorry that this wasn't a very fun episode, guys, but we'll be back stronger next week, I think.
I hope you guys take time to grieve if you're feeling sad as well, because you do deserve to feel sad in any capacity. And if you don't feel sad, that's okay too, but don't
make people feel bad about being sad.
Don't let anyone make you feel bad about making this seem dramatic. And if anyone in your life is like, you don't know that person, you do. You do know that person in your heart of hearts, and they were important to you. And I hope if either one of us died, you guys would feel sad the same way that with Liam Payne. So I'll give you guys the right to feel sad if we die. So
allowed. We'll allow it.
Motion affirmed. So until next week, guys. And then hopefully next week we'll have some really exciting information we can more publicly share with you guys about what's going on in Vegas and who we're partnering with, and why you guys should all be in Vegas, whether you have tickets or not, because it's going to be one of the hottest weekends on the calendar. I'll tell you what.
Amen, sis. All right, guys. We'll be back with a better attitude next week. But until then,
I don't think we have a bad attitude. I think we're just feeling sad, and that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying we're going to be back with
more energy
next week.
More love.
But until then,
we'll see you guys on the internet.
We'll see you on the internet.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of TG1F, an F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole.
If you like what you heard, don't miss out on the fun between episodes.
Keep up with the chaos on Instagram at 2 Girls 1 Formula. That's spelled out TWO girls numerical 1 formula.
And check out our website, 2girls1formula.com, to shop cute fan-made F1 merch.
See you next week.
But like we said, in the meantime, we'll see you on the internet.